Welcome to Creative Tian channel. In this video, I want to talk through my idea of machine knitting a vest. I have the design idea, calculation, and the diagrams. I will show you how I plan the vest design and get it started. And in the next video, we will finish it up and seam up. The design is to try to keep it simple, and I try to avoid ribbing, so when you finish knitting, it's almost done. You don't have to knit separate ribbing or finishing. And you can see the diagram here. It's basically two pieces, front and back, and it has a stand-up neck. It will be just stockinette stitch, so you'll be rolled up slightly, and it should look pretty natural. For the bottom hem, I'm going to fold it in. So for the first few rows, I will use a smaller gauge and then knit a turning row. That's the bigger gauge. And then return to the standard gauge and finish knitting the rest of the sweater. So I can just fold it in and then sew it up from the back side. So that's the bottom and the top. And for the sleeves, I'm going to hand manipulate, so it will be a few ribbons. I have a diagram here. I have 6 rows because according to my gauge, 1 inch is about 6 rows with my DK yarn. And I will have reformed purl stitch every other stitch. So out of the 6 stitch, it's the second, 4th, and 6th stitches from the outer edge that will be reformed. So after reforming all the purl stitch, it's like a ribbon and it should not curl much. So that's the part with the armhole. The next part is a shoulder curve. And for the neckline, it will be straight, about 1 inch or 6 rows here. And below that is the curve. And according to my calculation, it's about 15 stitches to the ribbon part and about 6 rows. That's around 1 inch. So I made a diagram. That's what I'm planning to do. 15 stitches and 6 rows. So that's my decrease. So you can see the curve line. It's a gradual curve. And it will be the symmetrical curve on the other side of the shoulder. And once you knit up the front piece and the back piece, we can just sew it up on the shoulder curve and the side seam. And we fold in the bottom hem and sew it up, and that will be done. So let's talk about the yarn I'm going to use. This is a Cloudbone DK weight Superwash Merino DK. I know the Cloudbone brand is discontinuing, but I really like their yarn. A lot of yarns are in discount right now, so if you can find them online, it's a good idea to grab some. So this is a DK weight yarn, and I'm going to use on my Brother 260 bulky knitting machine. And I find it easier to knit on a metal bed bulky machine for the DK weight yarn. And according to my sample, I'm using gauge 6, and I use the highest tension. So with my Brother 260 tension 6 and the DK weight yarn, I have 6 rows and 4.5 stitches per inch of square. And for the overall dimension of my vest, I wanted about 19 inches wide, so 19 inches in the front and 19 inches in the back. For the total height up to the end of the curve here, it's about 24 inches. And you can adjust it to make it longer or shorter, but mine is about 24 inches. And after calculation, my cast on is about 88 stitches. And I start with 12 row of the smaller tension. If my main tension is 6, I can go down to gauge 4 to make it smaller for the first 12 rows. And I will knit up 1 row with large gauge, maybe number 9. And then I go back to 6 tension and knit 80 rows plain up to the sleeves. And for the sleeves, I have 60 rows. I will just do the hand manipulate ribbon, like the diagram I showed before. That will be my ribbon. We'll hand manipulate every other stitch to make it into a ribbon. So after that part, I will have the curve. So that's 15 stitches for the curve and 6 rows. And again, that's this chart here. And after all the curves, we'll just go straight up 6 rows. So it's about 1 inch. And we will bind off. And I will probably do a sewing bind off to make sure it's flexible enough so it can go through your head easily. For the dimension of the opening here, it's about 10 inches. That's how I calculate all the numbers. So that's the basic idea for this simple vest. And I will start knitting, but I will finish up in the next video. And I try to publish my video every Wednesday night. Sometimes you will see it Thursday morning if it gets delayed. Since the winter is coming soon, I'm trying to make more sweater machine knitting videos. I think there are many designs it can be done easily without too much complicated shaping and finishing. So please subscribe to my channel and you will get notified for any new video. Another thing about this design is yarn. Even though I'm using the DK weight yarn, it can be a little stiff. In the future, I will try the thinner yarn such as a fingering weight or sock weight yarn. It will be nicer and more dressy. And because it's thinner and softer, the neck will drape more and it can be more comfortable. But if you use thicker yarn, it's more rustic type of design and more casual. So there are a lot of variations you can try. Now I'm going to start knitting my first panel on Brother 260 bulky machine. I probably will only do part of the first panel, so I will see you in the next video and we'll finish up together. Thank you for watching this channel and see you in the next video.